Okay, sir, I'm seeing several number of participants have been coming. And with this note, we would like to start the session with respected chief guests, esteemed dignitaries, and our distinguished alumni, and our dear cadets. A very warm welcome to you all. It is with great pride that I welcome you all to the 40th session of DMET Samvaad. It is a platform fostering dialogue and connection between past and present generations of marine engineers. Well, today we have the privilege of hosting Shri Om Prakash sir, the Deputy General Manager of Elegant Marine Services, as our keynote speaker. A proud alumnus of DMET Kolkata from the batch of 1989 to 1993. He embarked on his maritime journey, rising through the ranks to become a chief engineer in 2002, primarily in the oil and chemical trade. Transitioning ashore in 2006, he played a pivotal role in manning and establishing new operations. With a deep commitment to the maritime community, he is closely associated with the Institute of Engineers and the Institute of Marine Engineers, holding a fellow membership and serving as chairperson. Today, he will share his insights on ship management companies, their operational framework, industry expectations, and how DMET graduates can equip themselves with the skills needed to thrive in this ever evolving maritime sector. I, Cadet Dipanjan Chatterjee, roll number 9629, DMET class of 2026. I'm your host for today's session. On the behalf of the DMET Samvaad team, I extend a warm welcome to everyone present here.
And I'm Cadet Ankur Anand, roll number 9597 from the DMET class of 2026, entry 2026. Honored to be your co-host for this session. DMET Samvad was initiated under the guidance of Sri Iswara Arun Kishore sir and conceptualized by Sri Harsh Sinha sir and Sri Sachin Mathur sir from DMET class of 2020. It has grown into a distinguished platform where industry experts share their wisdom, discuss emerging trends, and dispel myths about shipping industry. Keeping this in mind, I would like to invite Sri Ishwara Arun Kishore sir, DMET alumnus of class of 2001, roll number 5020, to share his thoughts on today's session.
I believe Ishwara Arun Kishore sir is not currently joined with us. So, on that note, I would like to invite our respected campus director here, Admiral Amit Bose sir, to share his insights on today's topic. Sir, please.
Yeah, audio check. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you
Loud
now.
and clear.
Okay, good evening to all present online. At the outset, I want to congratulate the third year cadets of BTech who have coordinated this event as their maiden attempt. Minor glitches in the coordination process which occurred should only be viewed as a learning process and nothing else. I'm sure that they would take up the mantle with enthusiasm and take this forum to greater heights through their assiduous efforts. Coming on to the highly german topic of today, it is well known that bulk transportation of goods across large distances warrants intricate combination of interconnected processes operating either under human supervision or at times even autonomously. And most times you don't have immediate on-site deep support mechanism. While the transport crew's professionalism and proficiencies, as well as at times an online support mechanism, does provide some kind of help, there is a whole lot of background activities which require meticulous planning, coordination, and time bound execution. In the maritime domain, these activities fall under the ambit of ship management. With over 90% of global trade being carried out over the seas, the demand for efficient ship management therefore becomes paramount. It is, while the name of ship management may sound quite simple, that it is just managing a ship, in reality, the ship management actually has got enormous amount of activities, ventures, and if I could just list out couple of them, they are the comprehensive oversight of vessel operations, voyage planning, upkeep, repairs, maintenance, upgradations, even dry docking, which all require thorough technical expertise. There is a need to address the requirements of bunkering, cargo handling, customs, accountings, and documentation. All of these aimed towards efficient functioning, safety compliance, cost optimization, crew welfare and management, risk mitigation. You've got compliance to international standards, be it MARPOL, SOLAS, or any other environmental audits that are required. So, therefore, the ship owners act as a vital link and ensure complex operations of running of a ship at sea goes on smoothly. Besides this, they also handle various commercial aspects like chartering, contract management, market analysis, financial administration, and at times they even do it for multiple ships of a single owner, basically leveraging the economies of scale, identifying new opportunities, mitigating potential risk, etc. In the context of IMU and other MTIs, the ship management companies also act as our go-to resources for campus placements and internship training. Now, with additional focus being given towards green transportation and net zero SDG goals, maritime industry's evolution demands that the ship management companies adopt the new regulations and technologies. They must possess the advanced knowledge about these emerging technologies, be it digital twins, big data analytics, to monitor fuel efficiency, engine performance, the condition of hull fouling, etc., towards optimizing the vessel performance. And all this is crucial towards decarbonizing of the shipping industry as well as ensuring their financial successes. So clearly, there is a wide range of activities which fall under the ambit of ship management. It calls for actually unparalleled expertise and experience amongst the team. Now, ship management companies have therefore become indispensable for maritime sector, and who better to explain the nuances of this ecosystem than our own alumni, Sri Om Prakash, as he is the DGM of Elegant Marine Services. It gives me immense pleasure to once again welcome Sri Om Prakash for this 40th session of the DMET Samvaad. This forum has proved itself to be an apt platform to informally disseminate information to young cadets about the nuances of the maritime industry and something on most of the topics which are out of their syllabus. I take this opportunity to also acknowledge that I had the chance to meet Mr. Om Prakash recently, and I am really glad that he has accepted this our request to address the DMET forum today. I'm sure he will provide greater insight to the topic of today, that is ship management companies. I also urge the students and the cadets who are present here to proactively participate in this DMT Samvad session and widen your horizons of awareness in the maritime domain. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker, Sri Om Prakash Mishra, sir. Sri Om Prakash, sir, roll number 4044, DMET batch of 1993, Deputy General Manager of Elegant Marine Services. With vast experience in the maritime industry, he has played a significant role in technical management and operations, ensuring excellence in fleet performance. His expertise and leadership has guided many professionals in the industry. I now invite Sri Om Prakash sir to kindly share his views and insights with us. Please.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Clear?
Yes, sir, loud and clear, sir.
Again, at the outset, thank you so much, sir. In fact, I had the pleasure of being to the campus and where I always feel at home. And I was on a personal visit to Calcutta when I came down to the campus. And it was during the course of that meeting with our director, sir, Admiral Bose. He was very receptive. And during the course, he asked me, why don't you share your experiences, on the DMT Samvad Forum? And I couldn't say no to him. To hear what I'm talking to you is all because, what our director, offered us. And thank you so much, sir, that I'm here on this platform today. Even Mr. Ishwara, who is not there, he has also been, quite welcoming, supporting. So overall, I see a very good, people who are there guiding you on the top. And I wonder why not. the boys has to grow. Now, coming down to this a very apt topic of ship management and ship ownership, sometimes it used to come through our mind as well. So let me first, take you all through, like, as very aptly, described by our own Mr. Director, Bosa. Shipping, as it is a very, it's an international business. And, more than 90% of the world's trade is going through shipping. And which is so important. Any country to survive, to grow, and to thrive, as you know, export, import, we widely hear of, is all basis the cargo that the country is exporting to earn revenues. And so shipping is so vital. Now, as you understand that it has to go from one country to the other countries, right? And so it's an international trade. The country has to, uniformly been under the preview of international rules and regulations which are being governed by IMO, which are making the guidelines in basis, all the signing members, and then it goes on to be prevalent, acceptable by all the members, by the worldwide. So as you see, in the shipping as such, it requires a lot of expertise. I always say shipping is it's a very human capital intensive business, right? Besides the ownership, as far as the operations are concerned. It starts right from new building, wherein you need a good expertise to oversee the new building operations, where billions of dollars are being invested by any owner. Or even if it's sale purchase, it requires the vessel to be very thoroughly surveyed, checked, so that the owners, so that the buyers are putting so much money into it. They are putting the money in the right place. So all this requires a good level of expertise. So it starts from there, and then during the operations, the vessel has to be run. The vessel, so the day-to-day running and operations of the vessel. So you must have heard, looking about the technical departments who are overseeing all the technical, maintenance, dry docking, so that the vessel is technically capable to move from point A to point B. Now, that does not only stop there. It's not only the vessel is running, so it requires a lot of compliances, as has been referred to our director. Every day, the whole economy is evolving. The world is passing through, lots of regulations and all those things, which is again adopted by the IMO to make it a convenience, and the compliance is one major part, right? So again, the vessel has to comply. So then again, the vessel has to be kept ready for that. So you've got a department, again, one vertical who's looking after all these things, that's called a QMS. Then you've got operations, which is taking care of the operations of the vessels, like cargo operations, vessel loading, discharging, all those things are there. Then you've got cargo fixations, you've got a chartering division, then you've got the manpower requirement is there, so you've got a manning division. So it's you see there are a lot of verticals, and they are it's very important. It's very critical. It's very important for the whole operation and the whole to run. The shipping has to run, right? You have got the ESG compliances you all must have heard of. The environment is another good factor. Okay, how the environment, what impact as a organization you are making on the environment as such. So you have got again another compliances for the environmental, which requires pollutions and all everything, which covers pollutions and all everything with air, SOx and NOx. You must have read. You must be going through that, right? So how we impact the environment, whether sea, the water, or the air, whatever we do, or even the solid segregations and all. So it requires very thorough, in-depth knowledge. So you need to have the width of the business, you need to have the depth of the business, right? In order to ensure that the company does well, at the same time, you keep making profit, right? One non-compliance, the vessel getting held up. Yeah, one poor rating, you must have heard of SAR ratings, even RightShip ratings for the bulk carriers. One poor rating, one ship getting, under detention, observations from the PSC or from the SAR, you lose the earning capacity, right? It then goes to detain the ships, again, with a lot of commercial, financials and commercials and reputational losses. So with all that, all that is important is the company has to be very well, armed to tackle these challenges of operations, which is you have got an asset, which is a floating industry, right away floating in the middle of the sea. And it has to be well monitored, it has to be well supported, it has to be well planned. The aggregate planning has to be so nicely done. What's going to upcome, what is has to be there. So all these things requires a very close involvement, planning, and this cannot be possible if it is not very well, done. And you need to have a very good expertise doing that, right? So it's a very specialized operations, right? And so when you talk of this now, for any company to have that, you see all these verticals has to be very well created. And I'm talking about the day-to-day management operations. Like again, the charting, the other aspect, which the cargo fixation for which anybody has invested into the asset to carry cargo. Right. So you got another for the commercials, you got the chartering wing who fixes the vessel. And then again, in-house, the financial aspects are doing and all. So accounts, finance, chart commercials, and then there's operation wings and all different verticals that I've talked about, including mining, where this thing is concerned, has to be very well and in-depth created. That's very important. Mining is another very good challenge, is a challenge to create, to keep having the assets, the human assets going on board ships, to operate the vessels, to run the vessels, and again to ensure that is very, you have a capable team of the officers going on the ship, so that the assets are well maintained. For the reason, one lot is going for 5 months, 6 months time, getting down, others are going for 5, 6 months, getting down, but the assets continue to float, continues to make, and has to continue to make business. So it's all the more important the processes are very well accepted, adopted, enforced, and the processes are robustly enforced, because the team on board is there with the changing. And it's not that every time the people are coming on rotation, the same people will come back. So again, unless you have very robust process, so that the other person, when he coming down, when Mr. A has signed off, Mr. B comes, when Mr. B has signed off, not necessarily Mr. A will come back. Again, who might be possible, Mr. D will come, Mr. E will come, right? So under those changing scenario, it is only possible to have a very robust system, so that anybody who comes, he follows the SOPs, the checklists, the manuals, whatever. That is where our ISM systems talks about everything to well documented. So it requires, so in brief, what I was trying to tell you is it requires so much of expertise which is required. And for any company to do that, you need to have these verticals. The more strong, the better, the stronger that you have these verticals very well, capably, put into place, you have a smoother operations taking place. Now, the challenge is, how do you do that? You have different, 8, 10 verticals, whatever is being, done. So if you have a small fleet size, if you have a small numbers, now creating so many departments and articles, it will make you, it comes with cost, right? You have to have the complete structure being built up for that. And so unless you have numbers to support, your operations will be very off the budget, rather than being lean to be profitable enough. Any organization tries to have a very, lean operations. Lean means very optimal. Lean does not mean, not having without, manpower at all. But to have any organization being profitable, you need to be, very well planned and lean and do that. So if you do not have the numbers, you tend to outgrow. If you are maybe 2, 3 ships, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships, if you're having all the verticals lined up and all, you see the expenses that are going to incur. And if you're going to do if you're trying to have one guy doing everything, maybe 2 guys doing everything, you have the chances of, again, you are losing the depth there. And when you lose the depth, when you lose the expertise, maybe what happens? Maybe the chances of non-compliances, the vessel getting engaged into something, the operation getting affected, those things will come. So it's a very weird function. It's a very weird situation rather, sorry. It's a very weird situation. And that is where when you talk of ship management companies, that is where the space was seen and the space has been created, wherein you have a very high level of talent pool. I'll just give you a correlation, like simple, the today's the pattern of doing business and the way that you do business has grossly changed what used to be years before. Many things being controlled completely in-house. With the changing scenarios, more so, with the distance has just zeroed down on with a click of a phone and and the internet to reduce the distance, and the global distances have really largely been reduced. See, we're all talking all so much, everybody on the same platform, maybe distantly present here and there, right? And so it happens on the business as well. So having an expertised operation, talent, having that talent pool and helping you, that's very important. You see that, and that's what the major businesses they're also doing. Any XYZ, many most of the companies, if you get into that, it is a Walmart, maybe it is an iPhone, getting into that. You see, they're trying to outsource their operations, many of their operations to maybe Salesforce. What they're doing, they are AI based, they're making systems and integrating things to the main operations, right? And so that is how what the pattern has increased here as well. It's easy, either you create all your functions on your own, or again, what do? You try to take this, expertised. Now, how does this help Samvaad? How does, this helps anybody? What happens, like, as a ship management company, you have got a larger talent pool. Like, for example, if I talk of our company, Fleet Management Limited, what we do, maybe we are managing ships for 20, 30, 40 vessels for owners, right? Amounting to maybe 620 ships. Now, if we have an experience, we have an experience of what? Experience of these over 600 ships, 620, 30, 40 ships. If we have an incident on one ship, now that learning from those incidents is passed on to even an owner who has got one ship. Isn't it? So the operational standards are well ever maintained for all the ships which are under our management, right? Like any person who doing the management of the company. So this larger size, the larger workforce, the larger talent pool, the larger, allows you to have in-depth, more and more expertise. So when that is there, you are diving more and deeper into those issues. We have got a different department who is deep, diving deep and deep into compliances to understand what, even though if my vessel is going into Australia, I know, okay, what AMSA is going to check, come on the vessel and check. If the vessel is coming to India, I know, okay, what India PSC is going to check. When it's going to China, what I know, okay, what Shenzhen PSC is going to check. So all this knowledge base, now see, you have, then it becomes a very immense knowledge base, which goes on to for any of the, the stakeholders, owners and all. So this size allows you to do that. And that is where the ship management company space has kept increasing and increasing and increasing. Rather than having one company working and operating and having the complete depth and width of the business getting established in my own office, it might be making me out of the, this thing, because after all, the market which will deliver me the freight, right? And my earnings are decided by that. And I cannot afford to be too thick onto that. And so the concept started coming up. And that is what the advantage of ship management companies goes to any of the owners and all. And today is the business, as I told you, the business pattern are not goes on to only typically to a ship owner buying ships are not there. There are many banks who, where there's some has taken the, somebody has taken the loan, he has defaulted, the bank has pulled out the ships, and the bank's operating the ships. What do? Again, they're looking forward to, ship management who can run the ship for them till the time they find the new buyer. And so on and so forth. So the business dynamics have really evolved over the period of time. And that is where, as a ship, any ship management company comes there to fill in that void of that intensive, extensive, the knowledge base which is required to run the business, the shipping business, in view of all the trade requirements, the operationality requirements, and the compliances, upcoming compliances, what's going to come, prepare the ship for that. We know, like what amendments in STSFW or the MARPOL or the MSC is going to come up into 2025, 2026, what's going to be adopted. You prepare the vessel for that, and you do that, and you have the capability of delivering to that. Now, that is what an advantage it gives. And that's how, if I talk of like till last year, if the ship management business was at maybe at around little to over $3 billion US, and it's going to, it's growing year to year growth is going to give around 9 to 10%, and expected to cross, even in the next year, is going to cross maybe even $33 billion business. So that is how it's going to be on like that. So the whole purpose again here is, how does it help, right? So this is how a ship management operations helps out the shipping business altogether, and more so, say, to businesses who are the smaller, the vessels who have got smaller numbers, even the companies who have got bigger number of vessels, they also want to have a very optimal operations and all. So very, very smartly and very wisely, what they do, okay, I give 20 ships or 30 ships with one company, to see, and then, have this, as and comparatively getting done by other company. And that gives me a leverage to, how my ships are getting managed and done that. And this helps the real asset owners to focus more on the fundamental business, okay, how my business is making, giving me profits and all that, and it stands away from the operations, right? They don't want to get into deeper into the operations. They are focusing more on what's my, liabilities, what's my earnings, and all those things. So the business has shifted, it is evolved towards work, for the asset owner to work on the core part of the business. Afterwards, after all, any asset owner will do, they would like to see, if I've invested into something, how much money I'm making out of it, isn't it? The rest, everything is the procedures, the processes. But I want, if I have bought something, I want it to be, profitable. I want it to make money. So what is my outgo? What is my inflow? And then these larger parts, they are putting it across, so that rather than having my in-house complete, things getting built up, many feel that, I can have better, resource to this talent pool if I'm outsourcing it. And that's how it is, that's how the ship management operations are getting advantage of it, right? And it also gives you the advantage, like, see, if I'm managing over 600 ships, obviously I have a different bargaining power, right? Whether it is the vessel is calling, suppose if you're an asset owner of 10, 25, 10 ships, 10, 20 ships, the vessel is calling at n number of places, requiring appointment of n number of agents, port agents, at some place to carry out the operations, the space requirements and everything and all. Even if the vessel is going for dry docking, you have to book the dry docking slots and all. So if you have a larger size, you have got a larger bargaining power, you have got a larger, credibility to, ensure things are getting smoothly done. And that strength is getting passed down to the asset owners. And furthermore, what happens, even as the risks which is exposed to is getting at the front, who is there? It is the management company who is managing the ships. So the risk is also getting shared, it's getting at the front page, that the risk is also getting this thing. And so this concept of outsourcing the operations to third party, or by the companies or the management who is doing it, it has become very critical. Whether it is in-house ship management or whether it's third party, again, it's a different thing. But ship management as it is, the assets has to be managed with deep expertise. And that is what, brings us there. And so it's very important to have that. Now, getting down to that, how it matters to all of you as such, isn't it? That's the biggest thing. So where do we stand? As you get to see, like, as far as the operations are concerned, this thing is concerned, uh, as I said, it requires high level of expertise and talent. And the people into the business, the one who has been into the operations, they automatically become the first choice, to run the show as they move on into their career, right? Except for the, when the cargo operation charting, the most of the times, if somebody has been into the cargo operations, he goes on to have a different level of certifications and all those things. Obviously, they have risen very well into even the cargo charting operations and all those things. So as we see, okay, even into the armed forces, you see people rising up top are people from the officers who have come from those ranks and all from ranks, the officers who have risen right from the initial levels. So here as well, it is the people mostly who has been at sales and all, they are the ones coming into the offices and all operationals and all those things mostly. And with their expertise and talent, they go on to take the business to a different level, right? And what do you do now at this point of time? What is your take? What is how do you arm yourself for that? My my session Rajing is, see, as throughout what I always say is, it's a very talent and expertise based thing. And I always feel as an engineer, you're always similar, to what a doctor does to a patient. Although, doctor is working on a live patient, and what an engineer, what we do, we are working on machinery. Maybe it is not having life, but it is something, similar, that you need to understand the system, the way it is functioning, so that you can really understand it. When you're doing it, when you are understanding it, you can really, make it work, make it better, and whatnot. So at the bottom of it, what is required is your good knowledge base and your aptitude to keep learning. It's never ending. It's not that you have, that you come out of the college, okay, that's the end of it. I go on the ship, just do my part, just keep the watch keeping, do the watch keeping, come back. That's maybe, I think that outlook is not the right outlook. And that's where not we have made the difference. I proudly say today, if you are all from there, great alma mater, DMET, what even today we proudly say, I'm also from DMET, right? How does it make a difference? Yes, it does make a difference being from a good college. That is a foundation which is being created there. And that's what you have to understand. You have to make your foundations strong enough. Because it is you who are going to again climb up the ladder and take the industry forward. It is somebody amongst you will be there, to leading the businesses, be in the higher positions. And unless you make a difference, why we would be there, right? So value addition is always thinking, what value addition I'm going to do? And how do you do this value addition? How will you do this, make this difference? If you are not armed, that's the question, you have to keep asking to yourself. How I'm arming myself, how I'm value, how will add value. Even if I go to my as a fourth engineer, as a third engineer, how I'm different from the guy, whom I've relieved. How I'm going to, even if I sign off, I would leave a, impact to my seniors, to my chief engineers, to the career. He was such a nice third engineer, fourth engineer, like that. So what value addition you're going to give? And that's possible only when you have very strong foundation. So luckily you are there, in such a good college. Make most of the use of it. That's very, very important. Okay. With your values intact, that's very important to keep delivering. Having a good knowledge and having the right set of values together is going to make you successful. It's not the only knowledge, not the only values. So together with that, so please just use that strong foundation, what you're generating. And further on, you have to keep, be on the learning curve. You have to keep doing that. And so as what helps you then? Maybe when we joined in, when we signed off, every time you'll find different types of the engines coming in. How do you adapt to those changes? Different environmental regulations coming in. We never thought of, what is water ballast management system, what is NOx, what is SOx, again, you have got different technology coming in. The whole system, maybe the ships, which used to be earlier completely manned, then it became UMS. Now it's all completely, electronic based and all. I'm again in this, I want to really, I really am really admired, and when I got to know, and I'm thankful to Director Sir, to learn that, even the research wing has been started, the boys encouraged to get into that. See how aptly it is connected, rather from mechanical, the things I like, see the latest electronic engines and all, they're also electronically controlled. You have got the PLCs and all. So you just can't leave it, have a blind eye to that. So when I told you, you need to have that, you need to be on that learning curve, right? You need to keep learning. So an aptitude and attitude to, to keep changing, to keep adapting to the newer technologies, that will always keep you ahead of the in the time, and that will prepare you for the bigger challenges and the roles that you might be encountered with, the roles which you might be covered with. So that's where you will be, that differentiator will give you that arm. And if you have that, obviously, you'll keep utilizing those opportunities to keep moving on. Right? So as of now, what I say, focus on your basics, whatever you are doing there, utilize your workshop experiences, utilize your, trainee levels and all. Try to have that, I think, being open to learning the new developments which come in the industries. A lot of such forums, including, Institute of Engineers and whatever, the developments which is coming out, we should always be up to doing that. And then, as of now, I say, you should focus on one by one on the things and all. As you start your journey, your role has to be, okay, I prepare myself like this. This is where I have to grow. This is where I have to do. So the first level of this thing is, I do well, faster promotions, become chief engineer, then whatever. Then what is my next goal and all? Accordingly, I prepare myself for that, doing whatever, and keep climbing up the ladder. Isn't it? So as we start off, I suggest just take these opportunities and all, and prepare yourselves for this thing, and see yourself as a larger, in the larger picture of the management, the ship operations. And as you grow on, you keep making your way through and make forward to be there and to lead the industry in times to come. Where would be, right? So this is what all, majorly that I have to from my side. Unless if you have anything to ask or to query, you can always, I can always have the, the floor open and take your all questions and queries if you have something. Or something more that you want me, to delve down, you're more than welcome.
Sir, one question actually from my side would
Yeah.
be that the cadets actually look forward in joining gas carriers, LPG carriers, LNG carriers, more than they want to join, for example, a bulk carrier or a container ship. Sir, according to you, is this outlook correct, or what should be the young cadets' point of view towards, for example, joining a company, or should there be any vessel preference per se?
So see, again, the thing is, you have got different trades, obviously, LNGs, LPGs, oil tankers, chemical tankers, bulk carriers, the dry and the wet and the gas that we majorly categorize as. In the dry, you have got these bulk carriers, containers, and specialized carriers in the dry, whether it is carrying reefers or it is a cement carrier, whatever, in the dry side. And then the liquid side, you have all the oil and gas and the sea and the oil and chemical and the parcel tankers, the chemical tankers, or on the gas side, you've got the LPG energy. See, both have got their own market shares, right? So again, it can be by individual choices, but then I think it has to be seen in conjunction with what career you want to, really go on to, where you want to see yourself 5 years, 10 years down the lane. Like, like for me, as an example, like for me, when I always thought my first thing is, I need to be whatever. I need to be by this timeline, I need to be a chief engineer, right? That was my first thing that I wanted to be. So I was very stable with one company. Today, again, as I say, I see a very larger, this thing, people keep changing companies, every contract and so. See, a couple of changes can be, like in my whole career, I've done just 2 companies. But I'm not saying that's a benchmark. Please don't think that. But at the same time, this hopping each and every time does spoil your resume, and that's your career prospects, of promotions and faster growth. So again, my this thing is what you want out of your life. That's very important. If you want, but throughout I have to be in an LPG, LNG fleet, and then obviously when the number of ships are less, the opportunities are less. So competitively, your promotions will also be affected like that. Right? So it has to be seen in the congregation of all, So no trade, no, I just, but I'm not saying any particular trade is good or bad. Right? Whether it is a bulk carrier, whether it is a gas carrier, whether it is an LNG carriers. But again, it has to be in sync with the opportunities and my priorities in my career. And that is where you should decide what you want. What is my goal? Do I want to go for, this is what I want out of 5 years, 10 years. So have a broader horizon, Even when you do we always say, even in MBA also, when we talk about this, we always call, if you're doing a forecasting, you should have an horizon. Or what horizon that we are talking about all this. So you should have a, width. This is what I want to do. This is and how do I fit into it? In those frame of things, if LNG or LPG fits, why not? Right?
Absolutely.
So it is like that. Hope I have been able to give some clarity onto that. Dipansh?
Yes, sir. I'm sure the cadets are gaining a lot of insights. And before we commence the question and answer session, I would like to invite Shri Ishwar Arun Kishore sir to kindly unmute himself and deliver his words of wisdom.
Very good evening, sir. Shri Om Prakash ji. Very good evening, sir. Good evening, Director, sir, dear cadets, and everyone online. Sorry for the, missing out on joining. Actually, I'm very sorry about it. I'm lost actually in some other work, and I could not keep track of the time. Sir, your speech has been very, educative. In fact, what cadets should learn out of you is the structure of and the operation of these management companies, which is very good. In fact, you have covered the entire gamut, right from the ship owning operation and where the management companies are pitching in, and everything that you have brought in were very apt actually. And I hope the cadets have taken it very well. I don't know how they received it, but it was good actually, in a way that you covered the entire range of the management companies. For the cadets, actually, I would like to add, since I worked mostly with management companies throughout my career. For about 12 years, I have been out at sea. I joined the first bulk carrier, then I worked in oil tanker, then I worked in chemical tankers, then again I worked in bulk carrier, then I all progressed. Uh, what I learned all the way is people should be a passionate engineer. That is the first and foremost thing, rather than crying for I need only this kind of ship, that kind of ship. It doesn't fit well into any company, because if you look at the management companies, they have different pools, and the shipping business people don't understand. Sometimes bulk carriers give returns which is not formed in the tanker fleets and the LNG fleets also. It is very cyclical. where the ship makes. Sometimes even I've seen when I was working even in a dredger towards the end of my career, I found that dredger is earning more money than an LNG ship. Cadets will not understand these dynamics of the shipping. Don't try for something which you don't understand. At the very beginning of the career, you should only be interested in picking up skills. Do not say no. People say a very catchy word, learn to say no, but you should not say no. That is in the first wisdom that you should learn in the engineering domain when you enter, because you are nothing when you join a ship. Even when I joined, I was nothing. The first job I did was actually clean the scavenging space, and I did it very well, better than the motorman. So I was appreciated for the work. I knew nothing. I just picked it up, working. The only thing that differs, is how we are able to apply our brain, how quickly we are learning on the ship. It matters. This is the one big trait that the training at DMET taught us: how to be situationally smart, how to pick up things smarter, faster, efficiently. So that is the USP. The second part, which pertaining to your question, Dipanjan, I would like to say that you may be looking for, say, prospects in some oil tanker, and somebody might have started with a bulk carrier, but towards the end, you do not know what each person would become. You might be looking, you might trace, you may even trace the alumni. What happens is the one person who is stuck with oil tankers, maybe he is a second engineer, but the person who joined bulk carriers, he should have become the fleet manager quite soon. Management companies are a very good stepping stone for those sprinters in the shipping career. They offer a very good starting role after the experience as chief, and so from there your horizon keeps on increasing. Initially, when you are at ship, you can't see anything beyond your engine room. Even on the deck, you don't find. Most of the engineers, they don't even see what is the deck machinery, what is the things which are there on bridge. Also, they don't see. Once you become chief engineer, you start looking at the bridge, you start looking at deck machinery and all. Once you become superintendent, you look at a brighter, your horizon will improve. You can look at much more larger perspective, how the business of shipping, management of shipping, so many other things will come. You will find a lot of avenues. You will be interacting with classification, claims, insurance, finance, so many other people. So your vision keeps on increasing. It's an exponential drive. It is very hard to know even the basics correctly. And the shipping domain is such a rewarding career that it will start giving you broader and broader picture. Even though you are not able to cope up at the present situation, it will throw more challenges to you. Those people who pick up these challenges, adapt, they will be very, very successful people in the shipping. I hope I answered the question. Sir, just adding a bit of wisdom to whatever you said. And it's a very nice session, sir, well coordinated. I'm on leave, sir, currently focusing on somewhere else. Otherwise, I should have been more active. I'm missing event timelines, and sorry for that thing missing out on the schedule. Apologies. And I saw the session, joined a little bit late, but I paid very careful attention to each and everything that you have said. It's a very good session. I am very happy that boys will know what is the management shipping or management companies are all about. They are like Infosys of IT, or the TCS of IT, something like that. These are the management companies which recruit the maximum number of seafarers, and they are the career growth verticals for the shipboard staff also, to look beyond ships. So something which broadens your career prospects. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this time and listening to me. Cadet, thank you very much for giving me that call, letting me know and to join this session. Thank you very much.
Very aptly said, Mishra. And that's what I told the beginning also. The cadets are privileged to have, leaders like you and our director, sir, and to be so well supported and to do that. And that's what is very important, to have a very larger role into mind rather, seeing yourself on a one contract basis. That's very important. What you want out of your career, the way that you want to move on to. And every trade will have offer you, will have its own offerings. And what you want, that's what, where you should draw a line. And don't, as very rightly said by him, you have to seek what you're going to be achieve another 5 years, 10 years. Maybe some trade will give you that, some trade, maybe like, as I told, at the very, I had my priority of leaving and coming ashore. And like, and so under that, if under that framework of my, career aspirations, I will choose something, where I am. And maybe your batchmate will still remain a second engineer and already a fleet manager or a superintendent, which is there. The cases are, we have within our own organizations, we have, when you see that, and then we are promoting. So even if you're earning mostly at your level, and all people start associating with there I'll get little more dollar, here I'll get little less dollars and all. But those things should not be making much of a difference. Maybe on a larger role, if you see, if you are a chief engineer, if somebody is second engineer, and more than that, again, the achievement and appreciation of a career. If I am a chief engineer, I have become a superintendent, I become a fleet manager. All these things also adds to your scheme of things, right? So you should get guided by that. That is very important. And as of now, initially, use this platform, the college, the alma mater, the pool side, to really prepare yourself to embark on this journey as seeing yourself. And as rightly said, as we have stressed also, be on that learning curve. You have to keep learning, keep adapting. That will help you to keep adapting to the changes, to the newer technologies. And maybe tomorrow you are adding more values to maybe doing something better, something designing to it, something, maybe some of you become an entrepreneur coming out with something which again, in turn, gives a advantage to the industry. So see yourself like that. That's very important.
I think, sir, you brought out quite few important points. Firstly, which you have brought out at the very core, is that the need for professionalism. There's no substitute for it, and that is something which has to be maintained right through, right from the stage that the cadets are learning here, and throughout their professional life. They have to keep adapting themselves because the business dynamics are changing, the requirements, the technology is emerging. So obviously, there is no substitute for professionalism, and they have to maintain that standard. One more thing which you very aptly brought out was the need for a knowledge management, and this is one aspect we tend to do not to give too much of importance. What one crew learns on board, if it doesn't pass on to the next batch of people who are manning that particular platform, the second batch has to start from scratch. And that is where I think the shipping management company comes in, and they are doing this process of business knowledge management. And I think companies like Boeing, Lufthansa, they are doing this on the aircrafts. They are monitoring the engine parameters, and they are predicting as to when the maintenance is required, or they are giving alerts about possible failures. So something like this, I think, is going to be shortly emerging even on our shipping industry. The engine parameters would get monitored, and the ship's crew will get alerts from the shipping management companies. So I think that's a very good point that you brought out, sir. And as has been brought out, that the optimal manning is going to be the key. So people who are professionally good would always find that they are being sought after. And if you are not good, obviously you will have to keep hunting around. So the advice to the cadets is, don't worry about the type of platform. Pick up whichever platform comes to your way, learn from it, and all the learnings that you have will never get wasted. They will come in handy at one point of the time or the other. So don't worry about whether it is LPG or LNG or any other platform. Just learn right now. That is more important. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It was a very apt and very comprehensively addressed lecture.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Director, sir. Thank you, Shri Om Prakash, sir. And a lot of thanks to Shri Ishwara Arun Kishore, sir. for your enlightening words. I'm sure the cadets have learned a lot. And your insights, of course, have given us a clearer understanding of the evolving role of the ship management companies per se. The knowledge and guidance that you shared today will undoubtedly help as we prepare to navigate our own careers in this dynamic field. Now, we move on to the question and answer session. And especially, I request the cadets to use the raise hand feature in the Zoom meeting if you have any doubts or questions. And I would urge the first year and second year cadets who have joined with us to, ask away your doubts, ask away all the questions that you have. Okay, we have a question from cadet Priyanshu Rana. Yes, go ahead.
You would have to unmute Priyanshu from time to time. Yeah, anyone asking question? Deepanjan, you have to unmute Priyanshu.
Good evening, sir. I'm Cadet Priyanshu Rana, roll number 9983 of 2023 entry batch. I would like to ask that how do the ship management companies ensure the compliance with international maritime regulations like the SOLAS or MARPOL or the ISM codes?
Priyanshu, that is as I started up initially only. That's a complete one vertical. When the industry the shipping has to move around, it cannot be without those compliances,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So it's very important, and that's where you have and compliance is not at one level. It has to be right from every level, and at the front, it has to be from the ship being and the process being set from the office. So we have a QMS department and the one vertical completely who is focusing on these things and all. So we have the first thing you have to do is we have a very good processes which has to be put into place to ensure that those processes are without fail managed well, and we have checkpoints to ensure that those things are well carried out, whether if it's a MAPOLs, okay, fine, or whether it is air pollution or SOx and NOx that I was referring to, or whether it is garbage management or any upcoming regulations, whether it is SOLAS or requires to it is relevant to MLC and whatever. So we ensure that those processes are very well, the boys are trained onto that, the officers are trained onto that. So through our training schemes, training institutes and all, when we are imparting training, we make them educate, we make them learn onto the upcoming event, like what we do, what's going to come up in 2025, 2026. So all those things we keep doing that, right? And it's not even, and these compliances is not only, it is ship management or ship and asset ownership, it is across, it is industry requirement, right? If you have to run the ship is moving from here to point A to point B, it has to comply. That's as it is. So you need to have a very robust processes and the policies and the checklists to ensure that those things are being meted out. And we try to do it by imparting, even the trainings while the people are there on board, all on ship, while on board or while on leave. Hope I have been able to make some clarity to satisfy your question. Priyanshu?
Priyanshu, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, excellent answer, sir.
Got my answer, sir. Thank you so much.
The next question is from Prateek Khanna sir himself.
But I am 2011 pass out, so most of them are cadets here. So I have a very specific question, sir. As of now, I am contemplating owning a ship or starting a ship management company so I would be joining more of as an investor in that company. So I have understood one thing that owning a ship management company is financially less riskier than being a ship owner right now. But ideally, what my gut says that I should be a ship owner any given day. So I would prefer. So this is where my gut is. But I believe that it is. So I know it is very financially risky. I'm trying to arrange fund to start with one ship and it's a different ball game altogether. So getting a ship to lease and run is basically you just need a phone to run a ship management company. But to own a ship is different. So what do you think is the right way? To become a ship owner would be a right thing, or to become a ship manager it will be a right thing. So you have seen both the sides in your vast experience of, I guess, more than 30 years now, 3 decades. So this will be a new ball game, and a lot of young DMETians are trying to open the same, doing the same thing. So we'll see more ship owners in coming years from DMET than we have seen in 5 decades. So, but I would like to know your experiential part of it, how risky are small nuggets. It would really, really help me and help a lot of aspiring ship owners to take that call.
Good, Pratik. And firstly, I really appreciate this entrepreneurial skill to see that, right? It's very nice. But see, my putting your hand into any business is all about the investment and the risk associated. So I don't know if I have, matlab, I can, my answers would has to my, experiences or whatever has to be seen in congregation with that, rather than like just say one liner which I want to add. But as long as the ship owning and the ship management is concerned, they both are very different skill set and the ballgame altogether, right? In one case, you are directly investing into larger, a lot of investments required into the owning of the asset. And then it's not only the owning of the asset. The day that you own the asset, and in fact, before owning the asset, you have to do a very meticulous planning and getting to have a right level of skill set, to understand the asset that I'm going to own, which mostly comes initially with the purchase of a second-hand ship rather than going for a completely new building, right? So again, putting your hands for the right asset, it again requires very extensive valuation and we're putting your thermometer each and every part of the of this thing to know that assets that you are buying, you are putting your hand into is worth it. And after that, it's not, and then the journey starts. There's a,
Yeah.
and then the journey starts is again the operations. As I was saying, that it's very difficult. If I ask me, it is quite difficult, for either for a one ownership or one ship owner having a one ship to really have the compliances will remain the same for you, whether it is environmental compliance, whether it is the MLC compliance, whether it's SCW compliance, all compliances and the requirements of the trade will apply to you, or whether to somebody who is owning 500 ships or 1,000 ships, doesn't matter. So you need to have the scale to manage your asset. What is the point if the ship fails on any of the compliances and it's not trading? So again, all those aspects has to really gone deeper into that to understand and to ensure that my operations at the back is smoothly lined up. So all those evaluations is very, very important to be done before getting into my suggestion is to getting into such type of investment decisions and all. As far as the ship management part is concerned, again, it's a different this thing. Again, it starts with the compliance, having your, which is in both the cases, if you're doing the in-house management or in the outside management, you need to have the certifications, this thing from the required DG and all the permissions, to do the hiring and as per the MLC and everything, all the ship management, certificates, you need to have that. And again, you need to have the scale also. Having a couple of ships to start up and to start your operations, you need to have the talent pool with you so that as a ship manager, if any owner is going to give his assets to you, you'd expect that again you deliver the way that you are with that you would be expecting as a ship owner to have your vessels being managed. So again, as a ship manager, you need to have a very talent breadth and the breadth and the depth to offer those services to that one. Obviously, the investment part of it, as a ship management company, though the investment would be much lesser than what is there. So again, your decision is very large. The decision has to be seen that the decision has to be made, taking all those factors into mind. like what is my investment portfolio, what is my, then the plan to do that, all those things. The risks, as you have seen, the risk in both the cases are different, obviously. Am I okay with that?
Pratik, you have to unmute.
Thank you for the answer, sir. Learned a lot of things from you today and from Ishwara sir and also from director sir. So, and I would just like to say, cadets, these are years and decades of experience. Keep your mouth shut and try to listen. And that is what I have been doing all my life, learning from seniors. And so this is something that we can never get. So I'm very grateful for this initiative, that I can be part of this in any capacity. I'm always learning from my seniors. So that is my 1 cent of wisdom from to all my juniors and even seniors. So God has given us 2 years. Let's listen more and let's talk less. And so on that note, I guess a lot of cadets have different questions that they can ask. Thank you again, sir.
Yeah, Pratik, shall I add a little bit on that particular part, ownership or the?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Yeah, it is not that I am all knowledgeable, but just with interacting few people, I picked up points. It is. I happen to interact very closely with Dr. Ravi Mehrotra, who is the ship owner. So I can share some little bit insights. Ship owning is a different ball game. It is the what you are capable of will dictate. uh, because we cannot blindly bet, that it is not actually a gamble. When we take such a big leap, we should understand the entire gamut of ship business and then its prospects, what is going to be in future. It is a ultra high level of intelligence, to be a ship owner. That is what I could pick up from Dr. Ravi Mehrotra, because what I understood is he is the son of an economist. His father was a professor in Banaras University as a professor in economics. So he knows actually where the money is, and in ship owning, absolutely there is too much of risk and too much of return. So, but we should be all knowledgeable if we have to take that bite, and we have to look for the correct opportunity. It is like Python, which can stay hungry for a month, and it is just waiting for the big kill. Ship owning is something like that. Whereas the technical management is a daily breadwinner, so it depends on what level of knowledge you have and patience you have, and that's it. Thanks.
And Pratik, the thing is ki normally as a technical person growing up the ranks, we very closely and very readily associate with the technical management, ship management and all. But the ownership, the whole purpose is different. Why you're investing? You are starting a business, right? Why you're investing? Operations part is very easy to carry on. The whole, it's not only buying a ship and operating it. The whole, the gamut changes for the purpose. Like, the cargoes, how what is my strength in having if I don't get cargo from a vessel, maybe you are doomed if the vessel is stranded for so many days and all. So the purpose of that asset management is very critical. So that's one aspect, that's one strength, that is one area that we really need to we worked more in depth to understand the purpose for which I am buying the asset. Is it, matlab, I would able to carry on with that? I have my lineup very clearly laid out for that, right from compliances and to everything, and then operations will follow it, right? So all those things, all those areas and arenas has to be well understood and well, pondered upon.
Once again, I got like enough to ponder upon today. I will pass on to another cadet. Lot of cadets have asked question. Let me unmute, I guess.
Lot of questions, yes, sir. We have a lot of questions. We have 4 hands raised as of now. I would like to ask Cadet Mudit Sharma to unmute and ask your question. Mudit.
Good evening, sir. I'm Cadet Madhesh Sharma, roll number 10260. So my question is, what role does technology has to play in modern day ship management? So since we know that technology has been advancing at an alarming rate in the past few decades, so what does that evolution, that advancement has in how it has influenced the modern day ship management? Yes, sir.
I would just answer this by saying this. No, there are companies who are testing ships where you got no manpower on board, right? Everything remotely being operated. So that is the level of technologies infusion which is being done in the industry. So technology, the change of technology will, is very, 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 it's affecting the ship operations also as such. You see the way the engines have, initially used to have steam engines from where you got it to real engines. And now we have got ME engines, which is completely electronic based, no camshaft, you know, initially people 20 30 years before we never used to imagine the engine without having a, how do you affect the timing without having a camshaft, but you have got a camless engine now. So the technology is very well impacting the ship's machinery designs and to everything. As far as the operations also are concerned, with the having the internet and satellite server supporting us, the connectivity between ship and the shore has immensely reduced the communication level. And this in turn is allowing the management and the asset owners to use those technologies to have a real-time monitoring of the ship. You see, now you've got instant weather reporting, navigation support system and all. You stop a ship for 1 minute and then everybody knows the ship is stopped, right? That is how the technology is being used to monitor the operations of the ships and all. Gone are those days, when you have a luxury of stopping the ship for 1 hour, 2 hour, do the maintenance, and again, fine, I'll make it up. No. So, see the way the EGDIS has come. You used to have a paper chart, not electronic, the way that you have got Google Maps and all. Similar to that, you have got EGDIS, which is supporting, and it's getting real-time updated and supporting the navigation. And even in the vessel repairs and all, we have got a robots who are going down and are checking the keel and the ship's bottom underwater. Initially we used to send diver doing that. So right from hardware to software, I say IoT, Internet of Things, with the ability of the internet on board, obviously the equipments are being deployed, the softwares are being made to monitor. As the director was pointing it out, we have got, we have got these technologies coming up whereby, all the engine monitors and all the parameters as required is at the hand top of the superintendents who are monitoring those ships with all the data and all. So the data are being interlinked and the apps are there. People are using that. And so that you have got all the data on board on your hand top to monitor and to raise you, to alert you, and to do those things. So that's how the whole gambit of the operations are getting affected, and the technology is being adapted to make the operations easy to monitor and smooth. Mudit, anything more or?
No, sir, that was very insightful, sir. Thank you, sir.
And now we have another question from Harsh Raj Singh, 9907. Harsh, kindly unmute your.
Excuse me, sir. I am Cadet Harshraj Singh, roll number 9907 of 2023 entry batch. So my question was, from your experience, how do management companies handle the recruitment, training, and welfare aspects of crew management? And in what ways it is different from an ownership companies?
See, virtually I find no differences because moreover it's a with MLC guiding and all, you cannot do the way that you want to do, firstly, right? And as far the recruitment and process are concerned, obviously as a ship management company, since the number of vessels that is under the gambit is pretty large, so the employment level is large, right? So, and the process of deployment, those resources, human resources, which you are, taking on board, is obviously between the different, verticals to suit other, requirements across. So, and with the larger size, obviously, the amount of training and the training infrastructure that we are able to deploy is very, is in a very highly capable way. Because all is all about the numbers, right? If you have got larger numbers, you've got larger resources, you've got larger this thing to deploy and to train yours. So we have got massive training infrastructure, training institutes, using cloud-based simulator training, simulators installed and all. So that is not any compromise being done. You cannot afford to have a compromise. As I told you, the whole operations is very talent-based. You have to invest into your talent. You have to keep training people. And you have to keep, making them, training them with the latest technologies, and everything. So you cannot have any second thought about having, not to train the people. So training is there. Training is not at all compromised. Nothing as such. See, so through deployment and, resource management, it's all about, catering to your the organization's need and all. So I don't think there is any difference as such, which I find between the, because I have sailed. I was some one part of the career I was there throughout with the ownership company so called, and then the ship management companies, and the whole, the initial concept has all changed. It has all changed. Maybe at times you could feel that, the payment sometime here up is slightly more or less, but that's again depending on the trade and, everything that you're joining. That's very relative. Nothing besides that. And you have the advantage of, the career ambition, the career growth, what you will get here with a larger size. Here means the companies have got a larger size, not here and there. The companies larger size that will able to support your career ambitions, career growth in a much better way, because the opportunities will be more with the numbers of the ships being more. That is important. Raj, anything
Yes.
more I can ask you?
No, sir, I got my answer.
Okay, we are seeing a lot of first-year cadets having doubts. Cadet Urjita, I would ask you to unmute and ask your question.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. My name is Cadet Rajita Bish, roll number 10377 from 20220 batch, sir. So my query was that how do ship management companies mitigate crisis situations? For instance, accidents, piracy, or machinery breakdown?
Thank you, Urjita. See, the policies regarding these contingencies, mitigation and management remains the same, whether it is a ship management or a ship ownership. I don't know if the question was in that particular relative pretext, because it relates to the ship ownership, the ship operations. And we have got a very, strict contingency plan and all, whether it is a piracy, whether it is a, taking the ships into the high risk areas and all, where you got a very strict policy of carrying the armed guards. No, so armed guards are taken on the ships at a particular location, and when the vessel is out of that high risk areas, the armed guards are getting out. So that's how we try to, or in the war zone areas, and all those risks are being taken care like that. And any other contingencies, whether it is, medical emergencies or something, they are, it's all very well taken care by having, we have got, if the ships are there in the line of the choppers are coming here lifting, but those things are very commonly being used. And again, as I say, uh, bigger companies and who are having a very standard, SOPs and the standard operations and all, obviously they have an edge on that, and obviously they are not cutting corners, and you can't afford to cut corners on that. You can't. Hope I'm able to answer you, Urjita.
Dipanjan, I think you can move on to the next question.
Yes, I hope the question has been answered. Now, moving on to the next question, we have a question from Cadet Deblina Kar. Deblina, unmute yourself.
Yes. Good evening, sir. So I'm Kara Deepina from 2024 entry batch. So my question was, what strategies do ship management companies use to maintain relationships with ship owners and charterers? And how do these strategies ensure satisfaction for both parties, particularly in terms of efficiency and in compliance with international regulations?
Good, Evelina. See, the thing, as I said, we got different verticals taking care of those things, right? We got an operations department who's taking care of the complete operations. Like, operations means the cargo operations. What cargo to carry, whenever there is a cargo fixation, how the tanks are being, prepared for that, and every aspects of the cargo movement. Obviously, the vessel we have got so as I told you, the size will always allow you to have a very, to make your talent pool very in depth, or the breadth wise also and the depth wise also. So most of the bigger companies, and so in our case also, like we have completely dedicated operations department who is completely, communicating very closely with the charterers, who is doing the cargo fixations, and all queries. It's not only left to the vessel, to our shipboard staff to answer to that. The shipboard staffs are just there to run the show the way they are, the way they are as a routine job, and the hand in gloves with the technical team and the operations team. And the communication part, everything, and every query and everything is being supported and being done by the operations department, who has got extensive knowledge and experience and in-depth knowledge about these operations. So they are taking care of the chartering part and all. And as far as the compliance is concerned, again, we've got a very robust processes, systems, and compliances. Is there again for to meet that we've got another QMS department, the vertical, and the experts which are there into that, who ensures, like as I told, if the ship is going to Australia, we know the AMSA can board the vessel. So how to prepare the ship for that? Again, the particular department, they will come out with the, okay, you do these things and all, have a proper checklist, and have a feedback from the vessel if all those things are complying and not. So complete support system is being given and is being monitored. It's not only one-way traffic. Okay, we tell the ship to do that. The accountability is being taken by the people ashore. We take the onus, okay, fine, to support, to ensure. And there has been times whereby the superintendents from the office, they are traveling on board ships. If they are a larger, if we see that the team on board is new and the vessel is subject to, higher level of maybe inspections, and we have a SAR inspection, or maybe the vessel is going to AMSA, there will be a number of inspections, and doing that, people are traveling from ashore to the ship to help the onboard staffs. So those are the measures that we take, and that's being supported. Actually, you see, the bigger, the size of the company helps you to have, as I told you, it helps you to have more, talent to take care of all these situations. And it's very well planned. And I said, the onus is being taken by us. Well supported. Hope I was able to answer to your to your question, Devalina.
Yes, sir. That was very much insightful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we are having a question from Cadet Nirbhay Singh. His roll number is 10273, and he says that his microphone is not working properly. So he dropped me a question is, how do the shipping management companies manage to establish a healthy relationship between the seafarers and the ship owners?
Relationship between the ship owners and the ship directly. See, it is uh, the seafarers on board. You are there, so obviously you are a part. You are part of the system, right? So all the interactions that is being taken place. If there are some owners representative coming on board ships and all, obviously we are meeting all all they are meeting everybody and all that. But largely, I say that as a role as a seafarers on board ships, your larger interaction with office is there again at any structure, like as a master, as a chief engineer, your involvement, your engagement with the the as a part of your responsibility, it comes in more rather than where at the junior ranks, when you're not directly interacting with a with an owner or with a office as well on that. So it's all basically structured, in a hierarchy way that, as you grow up, you have those kind of exposures and interactions and doing that.
Om Prakash sir, if I can come in at this point on this question, do you have or have you faced any issues with regard to gender related aspects on board as part of crew management?
We are very extensively supporting this gender diversity, and to be very frank, I would during my sailing when I was a chief engineer way back in 2002, and the first pass out, I had a privilege of having a fifth engineer, and I got a mail from the office if you can have a lady fifth engineer. And that's how she's presently a very senior into IRS, and we did groom that up. And see, for the whole industry as such, uh, why I said about my guess is that down the years the things have shifted, and now more and more focus is there on the gender diversity, and the whole system and process is well laid out for that. Now, in our case, in the most of the companies for that matter, in our company case, we've got a separate department in the fleet care department, who ensures, like the lady officers who are there, they are very well taken, they are the communication are very closely done with them. The office communicates with them, and the feedback taken. So all those things are there, and we have never faced any issues as such. And uh, in fact, we have got two masters now, the lady masters, one has been promoted now, one was promoted earlier. So in general, we have not had any offsets as such, and I see very good adaptability and feedback even from those lady officers also very nice. So no issue as such. Yes, to be on the civil side, we have got a dedicated department who maintains a very close interaction with our lady officers, and those feedbacks shared, on a monthly, quarterly basis. That department has to share that, and if she has got any issues, and into that one-to-one communication with the office is doing, that is being taken up internally. And there have been a bit of cases whereby the one of the girl 15 she was a third officer. Yes, she complained, the master is a bit harsh. Says, so that way, we talk to the master, try to understand his part, and maybe we try to see, see the way of dealing, maybe a girl officer could be a bit different, maybe, than we are talking something and all to the other. So those things, those balancing acts we keep doing, because we take a feedback, we try to talk and see where the issues lie, and then we very frankly, we have those discussions and the feedback being given.
That's really encouraging, sir, and that's good. I mean, for the girl cadets, please note that there is nothing much to fear. The environment
Absolutely
is,
not.
yeah.
Absolutely not. In fact, it is very industry is very welcoming, and the
Yeah,
companies also they are very welcome to ensure that they prove a point we are there for you.
absolutely. So that's what that's something that the cadets can take a positive note from this particular interaction. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. We are having one last question. We will take one last question from Cadet Om Priyadarshi, roll number 10278. I would like to ask Om to unmute.
So I am Cadet Om Priyadarshi, roll number 10278 from 2024 entry batch, sir. So my question is about, is there any point of contact between the company of offshore and the vessels on board or which is afloat? If yes, then that point of contact, and does any kind of information get shared between the company office and the vessel? What kind of information gets shipped to the company on a daily basis?
I'm really sorry, you're coming broken. So, some part I could understand, some part I could not understand. Can you really, matlab, repeat that question, please? Om? Om, can you really repeat that? Because some part, if you're trying to ask about the contact point between the office and the this thing and the ship.
Yes, sir, if I'm audible, sir.
No, you are breaking out, Om Prakash. I don't. Om Priyadarshi, why don't you actually put it on the chat box? Put your query on the chat box.
Dipanjan, anything wrong? I think it's just froze.
Everything good on my side.
Yeah.
Cadet Om you has raised hand. Let me unmute him to ask question. I've unmuted him.
Dipanjan, what we can do is we can take Om's question separately offline and get it clarified from Om Prakash sir and put it in our DMET Samvaad group in case he has got a communication problem. Okay, rather than keeping everybody waiting.
Yeah, and not an issue. And anytime, like,
Yeah.
please, and those, who have asked or who have not asked, anytime that you feel anything, please, I'm always there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Proceed further ahead,
Yeah, okay.
Dipanjan.
He has put that who is the point of contact between the company office offshore and the vessel offload, and what kind of information gets shared between the ship and the company. Okay, this is like the office and the ship. It's a part of the ship is a part of the whole entity, right? So there has to be a close communication. So normally what we do is between the groups we divide. Like one technical superintendent maybe is assigned to handle these things, these many ships and all. So he remains one point of contact. Even for the operations side, in the one operations manager, the who will take care of these ships and all. So any operational issues, he will have that point of contact. So that's how the whole structure is being formulated, and that is made. If technical operations, we have got a technical superintendent who is marked to that vessel, who is in charge of that vessel. Similarly for the operations, similarly for the QMS, for the manning also, we have got a group, one group who is taking care of 20-30 vessels, whatever it is depending on the the size that we are allocating. So that is how a structure is made, and those for that ship, those persons remain the point of contact. If there is an FPD issue, if there is an operations issues, if there is a technical issues, that's how it is done. And in totality, in a larger text, we have got DPAs, which we call designated person ashore. If you are trying to refer to for the contact for anybody, if they want to contact the office, then we have got, we can have a reporting system whereby you have got an access where you can send a mail, or otherwise we have got a DPA who is 24/7 available for any emergencies. If there nobody amongst those your designated, the responsible persons like operations or technical, we can always call up the DPA, who is 24/7 available to come and support you and to help you. So we have a very structured connects, which is lined up, and that is how you have to run the business, right? Otherwise, if there is no communication, how do you communicate? If there is no communication, you can't have that knowledge, the sharing of the details, because day-to-day data are being done, shared. And now, as we say, there's a lot of forms and structure which are already a part of it. Like suppose if the vessel has, every noon, the vessel has to put a noon report, say. So he's just putting to the system and it is getting exported. So the superintendent is saying that. So there are many operations which is automatically getting done, updated. We know okay, today day end, when end of the day, these are the reports which I will get. End of the voice, this is the report I'll get. End of the quarter, this is what reports I'll get. So in that particular format, the reportings are being done. If you have to have any communication, verbal communication, you pick up the phone, you know who is the person who I have to contact. Whether it's technical, okay, I'll call this superintendent. If I have to raise the operational issues, I know I have talked to Mr. So-and-so, Captain so-and-so. Right?
Thank you so much, sir. So this brings us to the conclusion of today's Q&A session. The discussion was highly informative and is bound to help cadets navigate their future in the maritime industries. So before we end today's session, I would like to invite my batchmate Cadet R.N. Patra, roll number 9611, DMET class of 2026, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, sir. So as we conclude this insightful session, I, Cadet Aryan Patra, roll number 9611, DMET class of 2026, express my sincere gratitude and admiration for the remarkable individuals who have graced us with their wisdom and experiences today. As we conclude the 48th DMET Samvaad, understanding ship management companies, advantages, operation, and how it shapes the maritime industry, I have the distinct honor of expressing our heartfelt thanks to all who have contributed to the success of this event. First and foremost, thank you to our esteemed guest, Shri Om Prakash sir, for taking the time to share his wisdom and experiences with us. Your insights have been undoubtedly inspiring for our cadets to strive for excellence in their careers. I would like to thank our respected director, Rear Admiral Amit Bose sir, and Associate Professor Shri Ishwar Arun Kishore sir for their leadership and vision. Your continued support has been instrumental in creating platform like DMET Samvaad that bridges the gap between our alma mater and illustrious alumni. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge Harsh Sinha sir and Sachin Kumar Mehta sir, DMET class of 2020, and Sachin Saurabh sir, DMET class of 2021, for their vision to reach greater heights. My sincere gratitude to the core committee members who have worked tirelessly to make this session possible. Anna DM ma'am, roll number 9311, Arkya Vaishya sir, roll number 9322, Piyush Ahirwar sir, roll number 9430, Prerna Ghosh ma'am, roll number 9441, Raghav Dhaka sir, roll number 9446, Rustam Raj sir, roll number 9466, Shushnata Mukherjee ma'am, roll number 9531, Yash Mukherjee sir, roll number 9544, DMT class of 2021 to 2025. Their dedication and commitment have been crucial in organizing this event and maintaining the rich legacy of DMET. Now, I would also like to acknowledge my batchmates who have contributed to this session. Cadet Akshat Tomar, roll number 9574, Cadet Ankur Anand, roll number 9597, Cadet Dipanjan Chatterjee, roll number 9629, Cadet Pratyush Sharma, roll number 9711, and Cadet Shreya Vipillai, roll number 9776 from the DMET class of 2026. Last but not least, I want to thank everyone behind the scenes and all the cadets who have with high enthusiasm joined this session, making the 48th DMD Samvaad a resounding success. The stories we heard today remind us that the journey of a marine engineer is not confined to the seas, but can extend to the stars and beyond. We are grateful for their inspiration
and knowledge that has been shared with us today, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, sir, now this concludes our 40th session of DMET Samvaad. Well, we appreciate your presence and engagement in today's discussion. And well, a heartfelt thanks to again to our campus director, Rear Admiral Amit Bose sir, and to our associate professor, Shri Ishwara Arun Kishore sir again. And to all the cadets who have joined and showed that enthusiasm, and to all my juniors who have also worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event a success. Now, we would like to invite the dignitaries to kindly open their video camera for the photography session.
And just I would like to have the last, this thing. Again, seriously, my sincere thanks to the directors and Mr. Ishwara, who is really very welcoming. I know you have got a marvelous leaders on top. Please take full use of it. And you have to understand the cadets, like, please, you are from a very high, epitome institute. You are carrying the baton, and you have to create a legacy. You are the future leaders. So please arm yourself up with the right, with the, fullest of the knowledge, with the right attitudes and this thing and all, and prepare yourself for the future. That has to be done today. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Now to all my batchmates from the DMET Samvaad team, my seniors and my juniors, and to all the esteemed dignitaries who are present in this session, I would like to request you to open your video cameras for the photography session. I would like to ask Cadet Ankurana to take a snapshot of the same.
So we have
Yes,
taken this
the-
snapshot of the.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, all the participants, my Samvaad team members, Shri Ishwara Arun Kishore sir, and Rear Admiral Amit Bose sir, for joining the session.
Yeah, now everybody
we
has
would
to
like
cheer
to.
up. Everybody has to cheer up the Indian team, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. All the best to all of you. The boys, keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
The cadets can leave now, sir.
Good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Good day, sir.
बंद कर दे सेशन दीपांजन?
Yes, sir.